Hello, I'm Beth Bertelsen, and today I'm going to talk about the importance of diversity in the workplace. Most countries have legislation regarding inclusion and non-discrimination that states that people with certain characteristics cannot be discriminated against and that they must have an equal opportunity for a particular position. In addition to laws that help guide recruitment and hiring, many people also feel there is a moral obligation to hire people without prejudice if they fit a given job description. All over the world and throughout history, humans have demonstrated a preference for working and living with other humans who are like them. Men with other men, a given culture with that same culture, people of one religion with that same religion, and so on. We feel better and it feels easier to work with people who have our same beliefs and thought patterns, language, and customs. We tend to gather with those who are like us for lunch and coffee breaks. However, just like farmers know that growing the same crop year after year on the same plot of land depletes the resources that crop needs, homogeneity, or like with like, is not always a positive environment in the workplace. In contrast, heterogeneity, or emphasizing differences, is a more positive situation for organizational growth and prosperity. This lecture will begin by talking about why diversity is relevant, and then define and describe the concept of diversity further. It then goes on to consider how diversity and discrimination differ, followed by a presentation of how maximizing diversity will help your company in several ways. It subsequently outlines some challenges of diversity and what your company can do to encourage diversity, and then ends with some concluding thoughts. This lecture is geared toward human resources and talent development professionals, students of business, management, and human resources, and will be applicable to anyone who is in a position of hiring and managing other employees or anyone seeking employment. Although the lecture primarily refers to businesses and commercial organizations, the concepts within are relevant for any type of group or organization, whether formal or informal, and touches every one of us in some way. In this section, I'll present several reasons why diversity is a relevant issue in today's world. First, I'm going to show you how demographic trends and our increasingly globalized world demand more integrated teams. Second, I will cover the issue of economic necessity, because now, and even more in the future, companies will simply have no other option but to hire diverse types of people. In addition, corporations have found that there are strategic advantages to increasing diversity within their labor forces, and there are also moral issues at play. First, let's talk about demographic trends and globalization. Worldwide, we are seeing a shift in the labor force toward greater diversity. Years ago, before the effects of globalization were being felt, employees in any given region were fairly homogeneous. That is to say that in white, middle-class America, for instance, workers in companies were primarily men in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, Caucasian, a member of the principal religion of the area, English-speaking, which was the men's native language, and of middle socioeconomic status, let's say. He didn't mingle too much at work or in social gatherings with people who were not of that same status, unless the other person performed a service of some sort, such as shining his shoes, opening the door for him, or serving him a drink in a restaurant. Similarly, in other places in the world, men worked away from the home with men of a similar age, social status, income, religion, and upbringing. According to the Statue of Liberty Ellis Island Foundation, the United States saw an influx of 22 million immigrants, primarily Europeans, during the short period from 1892 to 1924, and the United States thereafter became known as the melting pot, referring to the people of diverse cultures and nationalities coming together to live and work in one place. Apart from that massive arrival of rich cultural diversity in a relatively short period of time, Perhaps there is no other period in recent history with more diversity than we are experiencing right now.